What's up, guys? So we're back from this shit. Surprised that I survived it. Anyways, today we're going to be reviewing Citation, which is Kunle Afolayan's latest Nollywood offering. Okay, so the story is very socially conscious and it has a bit of a non-linear timeline, which means the structure of the story isn't exactly beginning, middle, end. It messes around with things a bit by using flashbacks and just flashbacks. And I love non-linear storytelling normally, but I feel like they didn't do much with it here. And he could have done a bit more to establish the difference between the present and past, because literally, I've seen the movie 3 times, by the way. I had nothing to do in camp. So the only difference between the present and past is like those black bars at the top and bottom of the screen, which is not like I didn't notice it the first 2 times I watched it. So as far as I was concerned, there was no difference. So I think the film has decent character development for its 2 leads and pretty much nobody else. And it has a bunch of, well, there was also Gabriel Afolayan's character, Koyejo. Not well developed, but the relationship between him and one of the leads I think was decently developed. Then there's a bunch of characters that are just, they're annoying but they're funny. So I don't know. It added a lightened the mood. Sometimes at the right moment, sometimes unnecessarily, but it lightened the mood of the story. For the dialogue, the dialogue felt a bit too proper. If you get what I mean. Like, these are students. They're not students. Students don't generally speak this formally to each other, and then not even just Nigerians in general, but then including multiple languages in dialogue, especially between Moremi and Professor Lucien, made the dialogue feel more natural, organic. I think the story also makes a few strange choices in how the characters handle situations, in how situations take place, and all, just to get to where it was going. And then it features maybe one too many not surprising surprises. And like this type of story is one of 2 ways it's going to end, right? So it's the journey that is supposed to be engaging, but I don't know. Almost everything that seemed to me like was supposed to be some surprise or plot twist was something I could see coming. I like how this story portrays our system. It's both hopeful and realistic. Like, we're not entirely in fantasy land yet, but we're not being depressed by the reminder of how useless our own system is. So it finds a balance. And overall, I think this is one of the more satisfying Nollywood stories. Now for the production, the sets of this film are beautiful, or the setting of the story, whatever. Because it doesn't seem like they did much to build the set, just capture it as it is. OAU, Senegal. I don't know if they actually went to Cape Verde, but like beautiful places. I want to travel all of a sudden because of the sets. Then the costumes or dresses, whatever, looks very good, especially in the more ceremonial scenes. I guess they had a dinner at some point, they went to a beach, went to a concert. Yeah, the costumes were also very beautiful. Hair and makeup for the female characters across the board was actually very nicely done. And then Moremi, which is Temi Otedola's character, there were a few scenes where I loved how, like, it's regular braids, but I loved how the hair was styled. Like 2 or 3 instances of that. Professor Lucien's hair was just a no-no, or rather he had been bald. I mean, if you've watched Heroes, you know the Haitian. The Haitian is bald. Just keep him bald. Have some respect. The film starts with some very beautiful opening shots, especially after the prologue, and the camera movements, let's call it that, throughout the course of the film is actually pretty sweet. I think the only place it fails is the sound effects, and luckily for this film, there are not that many instances you require sound effects, but the few places where it did, it was a bit too cartoonish for something as serious as this. The music, the score, the soundtrack, discovered some new songs, so there's that. But overall, I think the soundtrack was just okay, just fitting. It didn't do anything spectacular. Now for the performances, Temi Otedola, I can forgive because she's apparently this is her first film. I didn't really look into that. But then Iniedo she seemed confused almost throughout the course of the film. It's like someone needs to come and tell her what she's supposed to be doing. And I've heard her name thrown around a lot, so I assume she was a good actress. This is not a good first introduction, but I'll give her a chance. Gabe Afolayan, also known as Babe Afolayan at this point, he delivered a very good performance for his character Koejo, which is Prince Charming in essence, the Nigerian version of Prince Charming. I think he's probably the best actor, the best performance in the film. If not him, then it's the Haitian, Jimmy Jean Louis or Jean Louis. French people figure it out. The Haitian Shah from Heroes. Yeah, his acting was also very decent. He was able to strike the balance between the two sides to his character, and his voice encapsulated both sides. Like his voice is iconic. There's just a way he made his lines have more character. Let's call it that. Joke Silva's character, no idea what her name is, but she played the role so effortlessly. It's like either that's how her real life is, or she has a lot of experience in these types of roles. Okay, yeah. Then over the course of the film, I don't know if it was just me that noticed it, but there were several times where like a group of people had to laugh at something, like collectively, maybe in a class, a lecturer makes a joke or something. And there was just a way it didn't feel natural. It's like they go from 0 to 100 in 1 microsecond. 1 second the class is silent, the next second everybody's laughing at the same time. I'm fresh out of school, so that's usually not how it happens. And I was in a relatively small class. These were bigger classes. The stunt work. Yeah, they had these fights, which I think everything else about the fights is just rubbish. The sound effects, trash. It didn't belong in the film. It served no purpose. But the stunt work for the fights was interesting. So like after I saw it, I'm like, what's the point? But I said, I'm like, well, I don't regret watching this because I've never seen a half decent fight in Nollywood. Overall, I would say this definitely falls into Nollywood royalty. Not the king or queen, maybe like the first or second child. So this was definitely a good movie. But Kunle Afolayan, if you ever see this, that is not how you do a cameo. Please look to the MCU for future reference. Okay, so as far as the rating goes, this is a painfully strong 2-1. I was this close to giving it 4 class, but I feel like the more I watched the film, the more issues I saw with it, the less perfect it seemed. Okay, so we've come to the end of this review. Let me know what you thought of the film if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, you should be flogged because I'm like a month late. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. Be sure to like and subscribe and share with your friends, and see you in our next video.